Hey to all the spooks out there. Welcome back to another episode of Spine Chilling Chats, where every Wednesday we dig up the darkest corners of true crime, history, folklore, and the supernatural. I'm Ange.
And I'm Manda.
As you can see, I can't see.
Good thing it's my episode.
I destroyed my glasses, so I can't see. So
yeah, here we are.
It is what it is. Before we start, I do want to send out a heartfelt message to Texas. We are heartbroken by the loss of life, those that are still looking for loved ones, those campers that are still missing. It's truly heart-wrenching, and we're, hoping that you guys find your loved ones and you're able to rebuild.
Yes. On that note, too, I also want to send my condolences to a friend of mine who's really good friends with my son. Her son passed away. He was 20. And another friend of mine, her family member was 15 and just passed away. So with that also being said, if the first one was a tragic accident, second one, if you need help, please, we are here to help. The suicide prevention line is 988. You can reach out to us. There's always something out there for help. So please don't be afraid to ask. If you know anybody and you don't know how to reach out to them, you can reach to us and we will try just anything.
Yeah.
So enough with the sadness.
Let's talk about more sadness.
Let's talk about Unsolved in Arizona. So the state of Arizona, I cannot remember what year, but they had 18,069 homicides.
Wow.
That is 64% clearance, and 6,564 of those are unsolved. I clicked out of the link before I could see what year it was. I want to say it was 2022, as of 2022. But don't quote me on that, and I could not find the link again. We're going to start off with Mindi Chambers, and I have photos, and we'll post those, but she was 2 when her mother was murdered, so she kind of grew up with this tragedy. The police suspected that her father murdered her, but there wasn't enough evidence for conviction. Mindi was last seen outside a convenience store on October 19th, 1982. An employee of the store said that Mindi was making a phone call when an unidentified person driving a green and tan station wagon grabbed her and pulled her into the car. Just before her disappearance, Mindi reported that her father had been abusing her for 5 years. 3 days before she went missing, CPS got involved and she was removed from her father's care and sent to live with her stepmother. Her father died in a car accident in 1994. Okay, so she was reported missing, or she went missing in 82. Her father died in 94. While he is never officially named as a suspect, it had been stated that the car her father drove matched the description of the one seen by the convenience store employee. Mindi was not even reported missing until 1995.
What?
Yes, over a decade
after. How did CPS not check in on that?
Exactly. That's why I kept saying the dates. She went missing October 19th, 1982.
How old was she then?
She was 17.
So yeah, they should have still been following up. She was still a minor.
Yeah. She was 4'10" and weighed 86 pounds.
Ooh, she's itty bitty.
Yeah. There's age progression. Not that you can really see. You can see, but
not well.
She, poor thing, not reported for a decade later.
Yeah, nobody.
I mean, the convenience store clerk saw what happened, reported it, but Like, nobody followed up on anything. Nobody.
How does she not have any friends, any other relatives that didn't?
Well, and if the convenience store person saw the car and reported to the police, and her dad had the same car the employee had, why was he never named a suspect?
But did the convenience store employee, did they know the girl? Know Mindi?
No, but
so they wouldn't know.
No, but they told the police, and the police knew that the dad had a car like that. So why did he never become a suspect?
It might not have connected the dots that that's the girl that got abducted.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, wouldn't you think they'd be looking for that car and then they would know?
I don't know.
It's 82.
I mean, what town is this in Arizona?
It is Tempe.
Okay, so that's outside of Phoenix.
And I forget that it's back in the day. They probably didn't have the technology just to run it through the database on the computer and be like, okay, these are all the lists.
Nor did they have surveillance cameras or anything like that.
So, but still, nobody followed up with anything.
Yeah, that's sad.
And how do you just not report somebody missing for fucking 10 years?
Over 10 years.
You know,
she went missing in 82.
Her stepmom never said anything. Like, she just went missing in 82.
Well, why would they give her to her stepmom?
Her mom died. Remember?
I know, but she didn't have any other family.
I'm guessing maybe it had been so long that she was.
Because I would imagine that the stepmom,
well, obviously they were divorced because she got taken away from her dad and went to live with her stepmom. So obviously her dad and stepmom were divorced.
I mean, that's not really family. I mean, maybe they had been together for a while. Maybe she saw her as a mom. I don't know. But that just seems like an odd.
Yeah, maybe she asked because she's 17. Maybe she said she wanted to go live with her.
Maybe. We'll never know.
No. And fucking report people missing. And the police need to fucking follow up on it. Don't wait 10 years to report somebody missing.
That's sad. I would report you missing.
I would report you missing. That's what I was
going to say. You don't answer me within, well, I give you a little bit more leeway now because you're over at Mike's all the time and you don't get good reception.
You gave me leeway before, just not as much when I was my depression and living alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, if somebody doesn't answer me within like 4 hours, I'm like,
where you at? Where you
at? I'm at your house. All right. Our next person is Angela Brasso.
Oh, okay.
Our next episode is Angela Cook Lindemood. She was reported missing on January 6th, 2025, 6:07 p.m. She was wearing an orange shirt and black shorts. And she can't see shit. She can't see anything, so she doesn't know where she's at. So if you've seen her,
she's just feeling her way around.
She didn't intentionally mean to go anywhere. She just got lost.
That's true.
Angela Brasso, about 7 p.m. on November 8th, 1992, she went out for an evening bike ride. She lived with her boyfriend, Joe Krakowicki.
That's a name.
Krakowicki.
Crack cocaine?
Whatever. Joe K.
Joking.
And they lived in an apartment by Cactus Road on Interstate 17. I know.
That sounds so fake.
They often cycled together along the canal. That night, he stayed home to bake Brasso a birthday cake.
That's nice.
Yeah. She was turning 22 the next day. Okay. That's what a 22-year-old looks like.
That hair.
Like, that was when? 1992. Doesn't she look like she's 40?
Yeah.
I mean, her face looks young. You'll see the picture. Her face looks young.
The hair just,
but it's
really
just the aesthetic of it. She looks 40. When she wasn't home an hour later, Joe began to worry. The young couple watched In Living Color together. Do you remember that?
I never watched it.
You never watched it? Oh my God, that was one of my favorites. At 8 p.m. every Sunday without fail, and it was highly unusual that Brasso didn't make it back in time. He testified that he went out looking for her a few times, then called a friend, and then the police. Brasso was found the next morning, bloody. Drag marks led up to a slight incline to where her body lay in a field just east of the apartment building where she had lived. She had been... Trigger warning. If you don't want to hear this, skip ahead.
Well, you have to say a trigger warning for what? Rape?
Just...
brutality?
Yes.
Torture?
Yeah, all the above.
Mutilation?
She had been beheaded, Her head
Oh my
was
God.
no. Yeah,
That did not.
I told you. She had been beheaded, her head nowhere to be seen, and mutilated. Her body almost severed in two. She was naked except for her sneakers. A forensic examination later found evidence of sexual assault and determined she had died from a stab wound to the back that pierced her lung and aorta.
Oh my gosh.
Her head was found 11 days later and a mile and a half away in the Arizona Canal where it flows by the Metro Center.
That poor lady.
I know.
Young girl.
20, 21, 22,
Almost
technically,
22.
really.
Almost her birthday.
So, Marlene Burness last saw her daughter Melanie Burness about 7 p.m. on September 21st, 1993. She was a 17-year-old junior at Arcadia High School. She had stayed home from school sick that day. She was sitting on the couch when Marlene went out for dinner, promising to be home in about 2 hours. When she got home, Melanie wasn't there. Melanie wasn't allowed to go out cycling on the canal at night. Marlene said, but she sometimes rode there with friends during the day, and her bike was missing, leading investigators to conclude that she had gone out for a ride. Now, I know it's back in like 90s, but when I stayed home from school, I wasn't allowed to do shit.
No.
So why is she
You're
getting
too
out?
sick to go to school. You're too sick to do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The next morning, a cyclist called 911 after riding through the pool of blood by the I-17 underpass at Castles and Coasters, close to where Brasso's head had been recovered 10 months earlier.
Oh my gosh.
Drag marks led to where Melanie's body had been moved and eventually dropped into the water, drifting 12 feet before coming to a stop in some brush. She had suffered a stab wound to the back that pierced her lung and aorta, as well as a shallow cut to the neck and the letters WSC carved into her chest. She had also been sexually assaulted. When Miller was arrested this is going on to who they suspected. When Miller was arrested in 2015, he was working at Amazon and living in Phoenix with his teenage daughter. He had gained custody of her after divorcing his then wife in 2006. The case took 8 years to get a trial, delayed several times by the difficulties of investigating a decades-old crime and the COVID-19 pandemic. The state said Miller was a sexual sadist who committed the murders because he wanted to kill, mutilate, and sexually assault women. They presented DNA evidence showing Miller was a match for sperm samples taken from the vaginal swabs from each of the victims and clothing at the crime scene. Prosecutors argued there was plenty of evidence of Miller's desires. In the violent porn he consumed, the BDSM sex he engaged in with his ex-wife, and in a document he wrote as a teenager detailing a plan to kidnap, mutilate, and rape a girl. They said there was evidence of his planning, the fact that women were attacked alone in the dark and dragged off the bike path out of sight, that he must have brought a knife to the scene, and in the case of Burness, a turquoise bodysuit she was dressed in after her death. The defense presented extensive evidence about Miller's childhood, arguing the abuse he suffered at the hands of his mother and had been traumatized as he split his consciousness into two.
Oh.
It was likely that at the time of the murders, Miller's trauma state had boiled over. Parker said, taking over his normal state as he killed Brasso and Burness. Defense experts offered a variety of diagnoses for Miller, including other specified dissociative disorders. The illness at the centerpiece of the defense, and autism spectrum disorder, anxiety, depression, PTSD, and the complex variation in others. State experts broadly contended Miller was sane at the time of the crimes and likely committed the murders due to his sexual sadism disorder and antisocial personality disorder, neither of which would have left him unable to know of his actions were wrong. As he delivered his closing argument, the state prosecutor Vince Imbordino said the insanity defense was nonsense and urged Cohen to focus on the physical facts. Quote, "Don't get caught up in the weeds," he told the judge. "Don't forget your common sense. Don't ignore the physical evidence. This defendant, at his core, is a sexual sadist. He enjoys hurting people for his own sexual pleasure. That's who he is. That's who he was in 1992 and 1993. Bryan Patrick Miller found guilty of killing 2 in Arizona canal killings trial. Bryan Miller was found guilty of murdering 2 young women, Angela Brasso and Melanie Burness, in Phoenix 30 years ago. The verdict was delivered by Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Suzanne Cohen, who presided over the bench trial without a jury. It closes a chapter in the decades-long canal killings case which shocked the region in the early 1990s. Brasso and Burness killed 10 months apart in 92 and 93. They were cycling along the canal when they were attacked by Miller, then 20. He delivered a fatal stab wound to each of the young women's backs and then mutilated them, sexually assaulted them as or after they died. He evaded capture for more than 20 years before his arrest in 2015 following new DNA analysis in the investigation. At his trial, which began on October 3rd, 2022, he pled not guilty for reason of insanity. Over the course of 6 months, a bench trial had happened. The lack of a jury, highly unusual for capital murder case. His attorneys argued it had been in the grip of a dissociative trauma state when he killed Brasso and Burness and was unable to comprehend his actions. The trial was dominated by accounts of Miller's childhood, particularly the abuse suffered from his mother, who died in 2010. But the defense wasn't accepted by Cohen, who, after deliberating alone, declared Miller guilty of kidnapping, first-degree murder, and attempted sexual assault in relation to each victim. 6 counts in all. The courtroom was quiet as the guilty verdicts were read aloud. Miller did not visibly react, his eyes cast down at the table where he sat between his attorneys. The case will now proceed to the sentencing phase, in which Cohen will first rule on whether Miller is eligible for death penalty or whether he should receive it. Miller's attorney, Richard Parker, indicated he intends to call 26 witnesses as the defense seeks a convince Cohen that Miller's life should be spared. In a statement, Parker said the defense accepted the verdict. This trial is ongoing and the court still has a central issue to resolve. We look forward to providing the court with all the information we believe to support this life sentence. The loss of another life as part of this process is unnecessary for justice to be served. So that one was solved in a sense. If they can really...
So it hasn't been sentenced as of yet?
It hasn't been sentenced as of yet.
I don't know how old that article was.
Has not been sentenced as of yet. So he's still... I know you can't see, but Jesus.
Oh, that came out my nose. Oh.
Did it burn?
No, because it's...
Oh, it's not carbonated.
Oh, man.
So Ange just choked. So not only can she not see, but
I
she
can't drink either. Just throw me away.
So that case was, in a sense, solved. He has not been sentenced yet. They said they're fighting. Obviously, they're fighting for him. Since there's no getting out of it, they're going to fight for a life sentence instead of death penalty.
Just kill him.
That's what I say.
If he could chop two people's heads
he said
off.
not guilty by reason of insanity, which in a sense is saying, yeah, I did it, but I was insane when I did it. So he's guilty.
Yeah, regardless.
So solved. Death penalty. Next, please.
Chop his head off.
So the next one has...
Bring the guillotine back.
Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something.
Would you watch that?
I would not. I learned my lesson.
What do you mean?
What we spoke about before. The beheading of the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that fucked me up. I wouldn't want to see anything like that.
I
have a hard enough time watching, I can't watch Saw movies because it's too...
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that, too.
Too much. I don't handle watching torture well.
I don't know if I could watch... So, my thing is, I don't know if I could watch a beheading. I don't know, a death sentence of Dahmer, of...
A horrific
Manson,
serial killer.
Yes, a notorious horrific serial killer. I think I could watch them do their death sentence depending on what it is.
I could probably watch Lethal Injection because that...
I don't think I could watch Firing Squad. I don't think I could watch Beheading, and I don't think I could watch Electrocution.
No, but...
Gas Chamber,
No, I couldn't do that
It's
either.
still a sense of torture.
Yeah.
You know, they're dying slowly.
But lethal injection is just like euthanasia. Like I've seen plenty of dogs be put to sleep. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think I could handle that.
Yeah. So, but just to watch some, and I'm not saying I condone it because I don't condone murder, but I couldn't watch just some Joe Schmo murderer who killed some 40-year-old person in a death sentence, like die. I couldn't do that. But if it was some notorious, I don't know, I'm fucked up. If it's some notorious serial killer, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll watch them. It just depends on what they're getting.
Yeah. I don't think I would purposely watch any death sentence be.
Just because it's a part of history, I guess I would say.
No, I still want to watch.
And I love history, so I would want to be a part of that history. You know what I mean?
You fucked up.
I know.
You fucked
I know
up
it.
bad.
Okay.
My nose is still leaking tea.
Most of us leak snot.
I'm just Arizona green tea.
All right. So investigators are still focusing on its 2018 shooting death of Sabino Lopez. And that's Sabino.
Down by, I can't see.
Yeah, you can't see. And the 2012 murder of Victoria Lacey, the night of June 9th, 2018. Lopez was approached by 3 unknown men as he was walking in Taliesin neighborhood when he was shot and killed. That's all there is on him. So unsolved, shot and killed, but he made headlines. On August 13th, 2012, Lacey knocked on a Glendale homeowner's door and said she had been stabbed by an unknown person. She later died from her injuries. A person delivering newspapers reportedly told detectives that on the morning of the murder, he witnessed 2 young Hispanic men spray painting a vehicle in the area, but did not know if they were involved in the stabbing. Authorities will also be looking into murders of Leslie Karen Good, who was mysteriously found dead in her Goodyear home on June 3rd, 2008. The 2 oldest and most bizarre cases that the unit will also be investigating are the deaths of Diana Shawcroft, Jennifer Luth, and Melody Harrison. Shawcroft and Luth were last seen at a convenience store on May 24th, 1996, when they got into a man's truck. How many times do we have to say it? Don't get into strangers' trucks.
Don't do it.
And drove off. 3 months later, in a remote area of Yavapai County, human remains were identified as the 2 women. Officials say in this case, new evidence has been discovered and will be analyzed. Harrison's body was found in the desert of the Apache Junction on August 6, 1992, and she was reported missing 2 months before she had been found dead. Her remains weren't identified until October 2023 through DNA profiling and familial DNA, 3 decades after her death. So anybody with information related to a cold case is urged to contact the Arizona Attorney General Office or Silent Witness.
You know, that's the good thing about all this DNA, like the familial.
Yeah.
How many Jane Does are going to be given a name? Because they can now test and link them to, relatives.
It's crazy. And that's the other thing about the whole DNA ancestry stuff is it can also help catch killers.
Yeah, because they'll test it the other way.
Win-win.
Yep.
You can find out who if your loved one, not that you want to find out that they're dead, but it's closure. It's closure. Yeah. And you can also find out who killed them, hopefully.
Hopefully.
All right. Leslie Good. On June 3rd, 2008, Goodyear police responded to reports of a shooting at a home near Litchfield Road, Loma Linda. That's where they found Good, 39 years old, dead inside her home with a gunshot wound. The AG's office will investigate this case and the Goodyear Police Department. Sabino Lopez. On June 9th, 2018, officers with the Taliesin Police Department responded to reports of a shooting near 91st Avenue and Garfield Street. They found Lopez, 21, in the street bleeding from being shot. He was taken to the hospital but died from his injuries. Investigators learned Lopez was walking in the neighborhood when he was confronted by 3 males in a silver-colored SUV before the shooting. Again, the AG's office will investigate this case and with the Taliesin Police Department. Victoria Lacey. On August 13th, 2012, Lacey, who was 25, was knocked on the door of a home near 47th and Orangewood Avenues in Glendale. She told the residents that she had been stabbed nearby and needed help. The residents called 911. Lacey was able to tell the police her name but didn't know who stabbed her. Quote, a person delivering newspapers told detectives that around 3:30 a.m. he had been in the area and had observed two young Hispanic males spray painting a vehicle in the area. He had not seen the victim, and it was not known if they were involved in the stabbing. The AG's office said. The Glendale Police Department will work with the AG's office to investigate this case. Diana Shawcroft and Jennifer Luth. On May 24th, 1996, Shawcroft and Luth were last seen at a Glendale convenience store around 7 p.m. The convenience store cashier saw a man arrive in a blue pickup truck. The girls spoke with the driver, got in the truck, and left. 3 months later, their remains were found in the Yavapai County, 100 miles north of Phoenix. The AG's office says new evidence has been discovered and recently and will be analyzed. The Glendale Police Department will investigate this case with the AG's office. And the last one, Melanie Harrison. On August 6, 1992, the body of a 15-year-old girl was found in a desert area south of US 60 and Idaho Road in Apache Junction. Quote, the victim at the time was wearing a Team Gear brand large shirt with soccer balls imprinted on the front and back. She was also wearing a pair of Levi denim cutoff shorts and a ring on her left ring finger, the AG's office said. On October of 2023, the victim's DNA profile was used to identify the girl's remains as Harrison. In June of 1992, she was reported as a missing juvenile. The Apache Junction Police Department will work with the AG's office on this case. That's the Attorney General's, in case you guys didn't know what the AG was. And that's all I got. So there's some unsolved cases. If you know anything in Arizona and those sound familiar, reach out to the Attorney General's office in that county that they're in and report some shit. What do they say? See something, say something.
Yeah.
Don't get into strangers' cars. Don't go bike riding at night by yourself. The other ones just happen to be really fucked up accidents, I guess, like what they were doing, and then they got shot and stabbed. Like, you can't really. It may have happened in the middle of the day. It may happen at night, but either way, we don't know. So whatever you were doing, maybe don't do that. I don't know. So
don't get killed.
Don't get killed.
Just don't get killed.
Just fucking stay in your house like we do. And
yeah, you'll be safe.
Yeah. Well, you'll be more safe.
More safe, yeah.
So.
Well, that's it.
That's
All
it.
right.
It was a short, sweet one, but those are some of the unsolved cases that popped out. The most popular ones in Arizona. That one is still going to trial. So hopefully they do find him actually guilty. And well, they did find him guilty, but they're still trying to fight it. But they'll sentence him to death or something. So
we have a contest going for our spooky summer stories. So please participate. Please send in your little spooky stories. They can be real. They can be something you made up. They could be a story you've heard, passed down from your great grandpappy, Just send them in to spinechillingchatspodcast@gmail.com. Try to limit it around 500 words, but if it's more, that's fine. Just send them in. We want to hear them. If we choose your story, we'll read it on an episode. We'll shout you out on social media, and you'll get to be the spookiest ghoul of 2025.
And we'll throw something in there for you.
Ooh. Yeah, so there's some incentive.
Yes. So, yeah, we'll throw in a little prize for you guys.
Along with that, if you have any normal, spooky stories.
I was just going to say that.
Any glitches in the Matrix, any
fairy fucking,
any Bigfoot sightings, let us know. Send those into our email, which is, again, spinechillingchatspodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. Or you can submit them directly on our website, which is www.spine-chillingchatspodcast.com. Also on our website, You can see pictures of us. You can read our bios. You can click on links to see some more videos, more episodes of us.
And most importantly, our merch.
Our merch. Buy some merch. I'm wearing our anniversary shirt today.
I almost wore that. And then I was like, no, it's hot.
You should have worn your tank top.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
No, I wore my Incubus one instead.
Hot Ghoul Summer
Hot
shirt.
Ghoul Summer shirt. I'll wear that next episode. Because I'm sure it'll be hot.
Yeah.
Because it's hot as balls outside.
Yeah, it's hotter than Satan's asshole.
Yeah. As Mike says, he has ball soup.
Ew.
Sweaty ball soup.
Swamp ass.
So.
Ugh.
So anyway, buy some merch. It's really fucking cool. Yeah. And submit your stories. And we'll give you a prize with our signatures. Or wait, what are they called? Autographs. We have any other stories that you want us to cover. Any stories that you want to hear, people, anything, just let us know and we'll do the research. We'll look it up.
Also, if there's a certain state you want us to cover, because we're focusing on states this year.
Yeah.
We don't have to go in alphabetical order. So
we just happen to do that because that's just what we're doing.
It's easier for us to keep track.
Yeah.
So if there's a certain state you are particularly interested in, just let us know and we'll cover it.
Yeah.
Ahead of schedule.
Yeah. And I guess we'll just have to write down all the states that we've done and keep track of it. So, if you want to throw us off our game, it's whatever. But no, I'm kidding. For real, like if there's a state you want us to cover that you think a lot of shit has happened in or some fucked up shit's happened in, let us know. We'll cover it. So,
yeah.
That's it.
Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So if you're just listening to us, we are also on YouTube. You can watch our video.
Mm-hmm. See our faces.
Also, I usually add a lot of photos into our videos. I didn't add one last episode because that was right after I lost my glasses and I couldn't see. So I'll try to add photos into this one because Amanda says she has some.
I do have them. I have them. I'll just send them all to you.
Well, I'll try. They might not be in the right spots because it's hard for me to see the little. It was very hard to finish editing, is what I'm saying. Gotcha. I will do my best.
She'll have her glasses in about a week. Hopefully
sooner. They're supposed to put a rush on them, so fingers crossed.
Can you see out of them at all? Like, could you just maybe wear one and use one eyeball?
No. Oh. I'll show them to you.
They're both ruined?
They're destroyed.
Okay.
They are destroyed.
Okay, so yeah. That's all we got for today.
Please keep Texas in your thoughts and prayers if you're so inclined to do so.
Yep. And the families that I mentioned, I didn't say their names out of privacy,
but just keep
their families in your thoughts and positive
vibes.
Yeah.
Prayers if you're into prayers.
Yeah, if you're into prayer. We are not.
Yeah, we don't judge.
That's just a personal preference. Yep. But if you want to pray, you're more than welcome to pray.
I'm sure anybody will take whatever you got.
It.
Yeah, just send it all.
Yep.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you come back. And most of all, we hope you
keep it spooky.
Bye, guys.
Bye.